What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of Sharp Shorts. Let's go ahead and get right to it. So there has been a new development in the Karmelo Anthony trial that does not bode well for Karmelo Anthony. There are no black jurors. There are no black jurors. It looks like jury selection has been completed, and there are no black jurors on the jury. This is incredible. Let's check out the news story and see how this happened.
I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Within the last hour, a jury has been chosen to decide the closely watched murder trial of Karmelo Anthony.
More than 500 people were on the list of potential jurors, but
like
the
600.
jury will not include anyone who is black, despite this case being racially charged.
Uh-oh.
Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now. Alex.
There goes the fix.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no black jurors on this panel. Oh boy. This jury panel was seated. The defense objected to 3 black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3.
Yeah, you can do that.
Reviewed their questionnaires.
And listen, I'm no lawyer, but I do know that during jury selection, either side gets to eliminate a potential juror for no other reason. They can hey, we're going to strike juror number 2. We're going to strike juror number 3. They have, I don't know how many they have, but I do know that either side has so many times they can just say, we want this person or this woman out of here.
He came back and said that the defense's challenge to the 3 jurors being dismissed was denied. The judge said the court found that the state had non-racial means to strike the jurors. Now, background,
well, that's cap.
Karmelo Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of fatally...
Okay, so for the prosecution to say that these are, that the reason that they were dismissed was because of non-racial, we all know that's cap. We know that's cap, but guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with dismissing black jurors who are obviously biased towards Karmelo Anthony. That's what this is. Let's just call it what this is. The reason why they struck those 3 quote-unquote educators, those teachers, is because I guarantee you they were probably black, and they probably indicated in some way, shape, or form, either directly or indirectly, that they're not going to put this kid in jail.
Stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year at a Frisco ISD track meet. Anthony was reportedly sitting under a tent for a school that he did not attend. Witnesses say the two got into an argument and Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. Police said that Anthony told them he acted in self-defense. Now, this case has become racially charged, fueled in large part by online speculation, rumors, and...
For all the people on the Karmelo side that says, you politicize this is racially charged. Yes, this is racially charged. And yes, this needs to be politicized.
Misinformation. On Wednesday, attorneys for both sides got an hour and 45 minutes to question the reduced poll of these potential jurors. They were questioned on their views on a variety of topics, including race, how they felt about serving on this case, and if they would hold it against the defendant if he chose not to testify on his own behalf. The defense also tried to gauge if the potential jurors would be uncomfortable giving Anthony a lower sentence if there is a guilty verdict. I talked to a jury consultant about the process so far.
It's an excellent team on both sides. I believe Bill Worski has, he's a veteran prosecutor. He's tried some very high-profile cases. And then Toby Shook has been both a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. And
I think your favorite color happens to be green.
Defense attorney as well. And they, along with the DA, it's going to be a very well-tried case.
And I did speak with Allison Richardson before the jury was sat, so I did not have a chance to ask her about these late-breaking developments. Now, this high-profile case can...
Look at all these people. Look at all these people showing support for a man who stabbed and killed someone. Just let that sit. They are supporting a man who stabbed and killed someone simply because he is black and the victim is white. If this is black-on-black crime, this doesn't make the news. If it's white-on-white crime, it doesn't make the news.
Continues to draw supporters and spectators to the Collin County Courthouse. We saw another group of folks demonstrating at the entrance of the courthouse this afternoon. We expect that to continue throughout the trial, which the judge... I
think this is almost like an attempt to... I think this is an attempt to sort of poison the jury pool. I think black people are going down to Frisco, Texas, to try to pollute the jury pool. We're gonna get out there in numbers. We're gonna free Karmelo. Blah 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 blah. It didn't work.
Hopes to have wrapped up by the end of next week. Now, I can tell you that 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony was in court today for the proceedings.
Already 19,
he was wearing
Jesus.
a suit with a tie and a purple shirt, which is also the color many of his supporters have been wearing. He did take some notes during the proceedings.
That purple's not going to help you, my guy.
I can also tell you that there does appear to be some minorities on this jury panel. Again, however, none of them are African-American.
Good.
Opening statements begin tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Good, very good.
Okay, Alex Boyer in Frisco, thanks.
And a reminder, Fox 4 will bring you extensive coverage of the Karmelo Anthony trial.
Okay, so obviously, this is a racially charged case because there is race involved. And at some point, people are going to ask themselves, people are already asking themselves, how many times are we going to let black people get away with assaulting and killing white people? Remember, DeCarlos Brown Jr., he was deemed unfit or whatever to stand trial. And so Irina Zarutska is not going to get justice. Well, naturally, people are chimping out online about there not being any black jurors. Let's take a look. You already know what time it is.
They knew exactly what they was doing by moving Karmelo's case to predominantly white Collin County.
No, Karmelo's case is being tried in Collin County because that's where the crime was committed. It's called jurisdiction, sweetie. Look it up.
Not one black juror was selected for the Karmelo Anthony trial. If
Good.
you are not familiar with this high-profile case, in 2025, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony was arrested and charged with the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. The two got into an altercation over a seat at a Frisco high school track meet where Karmelo was sitting under a tent that Austin Metcalf claims that he was not supposed to be under. It's been alleged that
Claims? No, he was not supposed to be under the tent. Do you guys see how the wording goes? Claims.
Austin and his twin brother was trying to remove Karmelo from under this.
Here we go. Austin Metcalf and his twin brother. So now they're trying to make this 2-on-1. Never forget, he said he put hands on me. Not they put hands on me. Not the Metcalf brothers put hands on me. He, singular, put hands on me.
When a fight occurred. Karmelo told police that he stabbed Austin in self-defense, and moments later, Austin did pass away in his twin brother's arms. Karmelo was arrested and charged, and he was later bailed out, and he's been awaiting trial ever since. The case has caused a nationwide race war, where one community is saying that Karmelo defended his...
Sweetheart, there is already a race war in the United States. There's already a race war in the United States right now, and the only people that seem to be fighting the race war are black people against white people. White people are not retaliating. At least not yet. There's been a race war in this country forever. But now you want to sit here and now you want to finally acknowledge that there's a race war when one of your people is going to be held accountable for his actions? No, the race war started long before the incident at Frisco ISD. The race war started long before this trial ever started.
And the other community is calling him a flat-out murderer. Jury selection was held this week, and it was over 500 prospective jurors, and they narrowed it down to 12 jurors and 6 alternates. It's been reported that prosecution used their strikes and removed 3 jurors who were all black women.
As they are allowed to do, like I explained earlier. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not familiar with how murder cases go. But I do know that both the prosecution and the defense, they have, I don't know how many they have, but they can say, hey, you got to go. And they don't have to give a reason.
Of course, the defense is arguing the removal of these 3 black women, saying that this violates legal rulings because this high-profile case has caused a huge racial outrage.
Okay, they did nothing illegal. They struck 3 potential jurors that they thought would not help their case. They're well within their legal rights to do that.
Prosecutors argue that this case has nothing to do with race. The crime was not racially motivated, so this
I beg to differ.
Does not violate any legal rulings. The judge did overrule the defense's argument, saying that these are just high school students who got in a fight, and the fight was not over race. The judge stated that race did not play a part in this crime and that legally the jury does not have to reflect that. Now, opening statements do begin this Thursday morning, but court officials have banned cameras from the courtroom just to keep these racially charged proceedings in order. You follow me, and you know that I've been invested in this case since the very beginning, so I will keep you all updated.
Let's take a look at another one. This guy really goes crazy. Listen to this dude.
Karmelo Anthony trial, y'all must think we boo-boo the fool.
Well, you are boo-boo the fool.
Every time y'all tell us to play it straight, y'all never play by the rules.
Oh, they never play by the rules. You mean like when it's 1v1 in a fight with a white person and a black person, and the white person gets the upper hand on the black person, and then 6 black people jump in? You mean playing by those rules? Got it.
No black jurors in the Karmelo Anthony trial? Y'all must think we boo-boo the fool.
No, we don't think you're boo-boo the fool. They're letting you know straight up, we ain't letting you get away with this like OJ did.
Every time y'all tell us to play it straight, y'all never play by the rules. Now listen, we just had the situation down in Columbia, South Carolina. Now this. No black jurors in this trial. Allegedly, okay?
There's no allegedly. No, there is no, I'm gonna look in the immortal words of Karmelo Anthony himself, it's not alleged. There are no black jurors.
I use these words, y'all. I know we all frustrated. Listen, this is totally wrong because he is not being judged by his peers. And this is wrong because of the place it's at. Y'all know how they gonna treat this young boy. Listen, we will be watching this on.
They know how they're gonna treat this young boy. This young boy, who is a man now, stabbed an unarmed student to death. He deserves this treatment. I don't care what anybody says.
On a day-to-day basis, I will be updating y'all. This is crazy right here. And this is ridiculous that this man was defending himself at a situation.
And there we are, defending himself, right? Self-defense, I was in fear for my life. People who are in fear for their life don't warn the other person. Touch me and see what happens.
Situation for school, and this boy has been terrorizing the one who was unalived. Yes, we will not say his name for legal purposes. Was unalived because he was being a terror to everybody in that town, and he got exactly what he was looking for.
Oh my God, wow. So Austin Metcalf was terrorizing the town and terrorizing the people in the tent? Dude, I swear to God, these people just make stuff up.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm sick of this now. Y'all keep acting like Karmelo Anthony a terror. This boy is a good student.
Whether he was a terror or not, and a good student or not, is immaterial. The fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter what his character is. He stabbed an unarmed student to death. He brought a knife to school, which is illegal, and he stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. I don't care if he was a good guy, bad guy. I don't care if he was a good student, bad student. He committed a crime, and he is going to be held to account for that crime.
And y'all got him on trial with people that don't look like him? Huh? Nobody.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Because people that look like him are people that talk like you.
Nobody there judging him that know his background, where he come from, how it is.
It doesn't matter what his background is. It doesn't matter what someone's background is. See, already he's trying to indirectly justify Karmelo Anthony's actions. It doesn't matter what his background is. The court and the jury it's not their job to deliberate. Well, let's consider his background. No, he committed a crime. That's what you judge him on, not his background.
To grow up black, but y'all think that this trial gonna be fair. Now, if he get found not guilty, disregard what I said, but I'm just setting the record straight, baby. Huh?
This dude.
We will be watching because y'all already playing a dirty game.
Yeah, just like Karmelo Anthony played a dirty game when he brought a knife to school and provoked Austin Metcalf to touch him. Let's go to this New York Post. Let's go to this New York Post article. And shout out to the Quartering. I actually saw this yesterday on his video. The title of the title, it's on the New York Post. I'll put the link in the chat. It says, potential Karmelo Anthony jurors dismissed after saying they could never send him to prison, saying, quote, he looks like a child. Let's read this here. It says potential jurors in the Karmelo Anthony trial said they couldn't imagine giving him life in prison or putting a brother in jail, despite the heinous murder he is charged with. Prosecutors in Collin County, Texas, grilled candidates Monday on whether they would use Anthony's age, race, or likeness to their own children when deciding whether he killed fellow teen Austin Metcalf in cold blood. Attorneys for the 18-year-old defendant will try to convince the jury that he feared for his life when he pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the heart at a track meet in 2025. It's going to be real hard to prove that. It's going to be real hard to prove that somebody was in fear for their life when they provoked, when they threatened, even dared him to do anything. People who provoke and dare and threaten other people are not people who are in fear for their life. He looks like a child, several said in questioning relayed by the WFAA when asked if they could consider a life sentence for the teen who has been charged with first-degree murder. How much do you want to bet that these people who said he looked like a child are black? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? The article continues, quote, I don't think I can make a decision about somebody so young. One mistake, one argument, one conflict. You can't say he's a bad person. One potential juror told Assistant District Attorney Dewey Mitchell. Again, look, I agree. One mistake, one argument, one conflict. Listen, man, one bad decision is not going to be, should not be an overall referendum on someone's character. Like I said about the last video, it doesn't matter what his character is. Yes, one mistake, one argument, one conflict. You can't say he's a bad person. Okay, fine. So Karmelo Anthony's not a bad person. He is still guilty of first-degree murder. Just because, listen, good people do bad things all the time, and I think black people need to understand that. The article continues, Dewey had to remind panelists that no one would, quote, get in trouble for revealing their feelings about the hot button case, which the Anthony family, who are black, claimed is a, quote, product of white supremacy. Of course, they have to take that. Mitchell asked panelists how they feel about this statement. Quote, I don't feel comfortable finding an African-American male guilty of murder. This is insane. I don't know if I feel right putting a brother in jail, one candidate stated, according to WFAA. Well, there you go. That person has to be black. That person has to be black. I don't feel right putting a brother in jail. Are you kidding me with this? He killed us. He killed another kid. But you don't feel right putting him in jail? Why not? This is why these crimes continue to be committed, guys. This is why the DeCarlos Brown Jr.'s get away with killing Arena Zarutskas. Is the mindset like this? The dude in the last video just talked about you guys are using the justice system to screw us. Well, so are black people. Black people have been using the justice system to murder, sometimes EPAR, assault white people in broad daylight. They're assaulting white people in broad daylight, and then they're flexing about it, bragging about it. Then they want to cry when the consequences come, talking about it's not fair. No, it's very fair. It continues. Lawyers begin questioning the final pool of 250 candidates Wednesday and plan to have a final selection by Wednesday night. Of course, we all know what that is. Meanwhile, a $600,000 grassroots fund for Anthony's legal fees continues to swell in with new donations. Many grassroots sympathizers see Metcalf as a white bully targeting a black victim when he tried to shove Anthony, then 17, from a pop-up tent during a rain delay at the track in Frisco. Guys, listen, man, let's just call a spade here. The reason why there are no black jurors, is because of exactly what you saw on the screen. Okay, this happened back in 1994-95 with the OJ case. I think there were what, 9 black people on the jury, and I think the mistake that the district attorney's office made, and again, I'm not a legal expert, but they didn't try it in Simi Valley. I think that might have been where the crime was committed. I don't quote me on that. No, they moved it to LA County with a much more favorable jury pool, and it worked. Listen, give credit to O.J. Simpson. He hired Johnny Cochran. He hired the absolute perfect lawyer who could have gotten him off. He deserved his freedom. Johnny Cochran got him off. He didn't break any laws that we know of. Johnny Cochran himself. It is what it is. But America is not going to let this happen again. Let's take a look at this article from Essence that talks about what I'm talking about. It says, O.J. Simpson's not guilty verdict was payback for Rodney King, says juror. This is why there are no black jurors on the Karmelo Anthony jury. A juror in the O.J. Simpson case is giving us a look at what was going on through jurors' minds when they delivered their non-guilty verdict. The juror, Carrie Bass, sat down with ESPN's upcoming O.J. Made in America miniseries, where she admitted that the 1995 verdict was, quote, payback for the police officers being acquitted in the Rodney King case. Now, this is referring to the O.J. Made in America. This came out in 2016, so 10 years ago. It was actually 10 years ago. Might be 10 years ago today. I think it was released either June or July. But that's the documentary they're talking about. And check that out, by the way, because to me, that's the final word on all things OJ. So, so the question says, do you think that there are members of the jury that voted to acquit OJ because of Rodney King? Bess was asked. And she answered, oh boy, I hate when this happens. Either way, she admitted herself that the OJ verdict was payback. Look at this guy. OJ fact check. The juror who raised Black Power fist was a Black Panther. Gentlemen, a Black Panther was on the jury for the OJ trial. What do you think he's going to do? And I remember when I watched OJ Made in America, I think one of the person that was sort of summarizing the case says yes, and as soon as everyone was dismissed, someone stood up and raised his fist in Black Power. And this is that man. This is that man. This is incredible. If in one of the most shocking moments of the People versus O.J. Simpson finale, one of the African-American jurors gives O.J. Simpson a raised fist Black Power salute moments after the not guilty verdict is delivered. So this is clearly not the guy. I think this is part of a series, the People versus O.J. Simpson. But this actually happened. This happened. It might not have been this guy, but yes, a member of the jury was a part of the Black Panthers. Did it really happen? It asks. Yes. And the show left out an amazing detail about the juror. Okay, continues. The point of the scene. The juror's salute, was an unsubtle reminder of how much the case came to be about race. Here are the facts. Yes, a juror really did give Simpson a raised fist as he left the courtroom. His name was Lionel Lon Cryer, as the New York Times reported. He was, quote, a former Black Panther whom prosecutors had inexplicably left on the panel. Yeah, that was a big, big mistake by Christopher Darden and Marsha Clark. They should have had him up out of there. But guess what? Again, they're not making that mistake in Collin County. They're not making that mistake in Collin County at all. Not again. Not again. If I'll give you a minute to pick up your drop jaw. Yes, there was an ex-Panther on the Simpson jury. Here is what the Washington Post, commenting on the prosecution's case, said against OJ. It was garbage in, garbage out. Cryer, a former Black Panther Party member who raised his left arm in a clenched fist salute to Simpson as the panelists walked out of the courtroom on Tuesday. He didn't just raise his fist, as the Times explained. Before the verdict was read, the same juror, Lionel Cryer, a 44-year-old Black man, had smiled and winked on him. Guys, this is why they're freaking out. This is why they're freaking out. The so-called Black community is freaking out and crying foul because they're not going to be able to fix this trial. They are not going to be able to fix this trial. They're just not going to be able to. The jurors are going to, and listen, maybe this is fixed, maybe this isn't. You know, look, this is payback, guys. This is payback. The Collin County District Attorney's Office, they were clearly aware of what happened with the OJ trial all those years ago and said, you know what? We're not taking any chances. Christopher Darden and Marsha Clark, they decided to leave Lionel Cryer on the jury. It just slipped their mind. So they're like, you know what? If anyone shows any signs whatsoever of being racially biased towards Karmelo Anthony, we're up out of here. But remember, the defense, they had the opportunity to do the same thing. They could have struck whoever they wanted to strike. So at this point, I think it's pretty clear that listen, Karmelo is going to be found guilty. I don't think it's a matter of if he's going to be guilty or not guilty. What it's really going to be is, what is he going to be guilty of? Is he going to be guilty of first-degree murder? Is it going to be, man one, man two, involuntary? Definitely not involuntary manslaughter, as somebody called into my show and said about a year ago. But this apparently is going to be played right down the middle. You've got, and I think there are 3 Hispanics on the jury, but guess what? No more plants. No more plants. No more plants. Again, you just heard it, and you guys can go watch it. There are Black jurors on that jury said, yes, the OJ verdict was payback for Rodney King. Absolutely. And the Collin County District Attorney's Office wants to make sure that absolutely does not happen. This is a big win for the prosecution. I think the fact that there are no Black jurors on the jury, I think that means they are definitely going to find Karmelo Anthony guilty, as they should. But like I said, I think it's a matter of what he's going to be found guilty of. I'll keep you guys updated. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.